The most anticipated fight of the year just wrapped up, and if this was indeed the swan song for one of boxing's greatest legends, then what a way to go out. Jake Paul, the controversial YouTube sensation turned professional boxer, stepped into the ring against none other than Iron Mike Tyson. And while the world braced itself for a knockout spectacle, what unfolded was something entirely different. A surprisingly respectable fight that saw Paul survive without hitting the canvas. At 58 years old, Mike Tyson is a name that transcends generations. The former undisputed heavyweight champion boasts an incredible professional record of 50 wins, 6 losses, and a jaw-dropping 44 knockouts. Tyson last fought professionally in 2005, a disappointing loss to Kevin McBride that marked the end of his illustrious career. Since then, his ventures into exhibition matches, like the 2020 bout against Roy Jones Jr., have kept fans entertained. But this fight was something else entirely, a battle between boxing's past and its most polarizing present. At just 27, Jake Paul's boxing career has been anything but traditional. With 10 wins, 1 loss, and a 70% knockout rate, Paul's resume is a blend of victories over former UFC fighters, YouTubers, and a handful of professional boxers. His one loss came against Tommy Fury, brother of Tyson Fury, in a split decision earlier this year. Love him or hate him, Paul's ability to generate buzz is undeniable, and stepping into the ring with a legend like Tyson was his most audacious move yet. To appreciate the significance of this fight, one must look at the numbers. 1986, the year Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, with a second-round knockout of Trevor Berbick. That fight is etched in boxing lore for Tyson's ferocious left hook that sent Berbick crashing to the canvas not once but twice before collapsing into the referee's arms. 70%. Jake Paul's knockout percentage, with 4 of his wins coming in the first round. True to form, Jake Paul made an entrance worthy of his reputation. Arriving in a customized green drop-top Chevy, Paul skipped the traditional ring walk, opting instead for a dramatic drive to the ring. Riding alongside him was his brother, Logan Paul, with a caged pigeon in the back, a nod to Tyson's well-known love for pigeons, as Phil Collins's In the Air. Tonight echoed through the arena, the crowd was equal parts booing and cheering, setting the stage for the spectacle to come. What unfolded in the ring defied expectations. Tyson, though slower than his prime, still packed a punch, while Paul showcased surprising resilience and respect for his opponent. There were no flashy knockouts, no controversial moments, just 2 men from completely different eras, sharing the ring in a fight that blended nostalgia with the bizarre nature of modern boxing. As the dust settles, the question on everyone's mind is simple. Was this really Tyson's last fight? And if so, what does this mean for Jake Paul's ever-evolving career? Let us know your thoughts below, and don't forget to check out the video on your screen now for more insights. The moment Mike Tyson entered the arena, the atmosphere was electric. There were no flashy cars, no extravagant theatrics, just Tyson, fully focused, walking the entire way to the ring. Dressed in his classic black attire, he looked every bit the warrior of his prime, sending a clear message. He meant business. The sight of Tyson in a packed boxing ring was something out of a dream for fans. The man who once ruled the heavyweight division as the baddest man on the planet stood under the bright lights, ready to make his presence felt once more. As the announcer introduced him with all the gravitas befitting a legend, the crowd erupted into deafening cheers. Tyson was back and the world was watching. As soon as the bell rang, Tyson wasted no time. He stormed to the center of the ring, his iconic aggression on full display. Jake Paul, clearly aware of the threat, started on the back foot, circling cautiously to avoid an early onslaught. Both fighters traded punches in the opening moments, testing the waters. Tyson's movements still carried remnants of his former explosiveness, but it was Paul who landed the standout shot of the round, a sharp right hook. This moment gave the younger fighter a surge of confidence, but his strategy was obvious: keep Tyson at bay. Paul relied heavily on his jab, using it to frustrate the former champ and force him to chase around the ring.
And everybody was saying, oh, nice shot by...
While Tyson controlled the center, Paul's tactics were clearly designed to exhaust the 58-year-old. The crowd wasn't having it, though. Chants of "Tyson, Tyson" echoed throughout the arena, their allegiance firmly with the legend. Paul stuck to his plan as the second round began, maintaining his distance and refusing to let Tyson close the gap.
23%. Tyson coming out aggressively.
The younger fighter's game was simple but effective. Use his speed and endurance to test the legs of the older warrior. Tyson, for all his efforts, struggled to cut off the ring. Each attempt to close the distance was met with sharp jabs and clever footwork from Paul, who remained determined to make the fight a marathon rather than a sprint. Despite Paul's tactics, the crowd's enthusiasm never wavered. Their chants grew louder, willing Tyson to land a signature blow and turn the tide. But as the round progressed, it became clear that Paul was intent on playing the long game.
Jones, where he averaged 24 punches around,
leaving fans on the edge of their seats as they awaited Tyson's next move. The third round began with a glimpse of the Tyson of old. He charged forward, unleashing his signature aggression, but Paul was ready. In quick succession, Paul landed 3 sharp jabs, followed by a stinging left hook that visibly hurt Tyson.
Oh, left hook! Triple left hook by Paul!
The former champ wobbled, his footing unsteady as he worked to hold himself together for the remainder of the round. The replays told the story. Paul's precision and timing were starting to wear down the aging legend. Paul's confidence grew as the numbers began to stack in his favor. By the end of the third round, he had landed 28 punches to Tyson's 12. The younger man was dictating the pace, and Tyson, slowed by the earlier blows, was no longer chasing with the same intensity. As the crowd watched intently, the question lingered. Could Tyson find that one punch, the devastating blow that had defined his career?
Beautiful jab, well, right hand first.
Paul's dominance became more pronounced as the fight continued. He worked Tyson's body with measured shots and followed up with sharp hooks, keeping the legend at bay. Tyson, clearly in trouble, absorbed a left-right combination that forced him into a defensive shell. The crowd gasped when Tyson retaliated with a surprise left hook, a brief reminder of his ferocity. But it wasn't enough to shift the momentum. Paul, wary of walking into a counterpunch, stayed disciplined, maintaining his distance and sticking to his game plan. The fight progressed, and Tyson struggled to find his rhythm. Paul's jab landed consistently, controlling the range and piling up the points. Even as Tyson landed the occasional crowd-pleasing hook, it was Paul who looked sharper, his body shots slowing the former champ further. In Tyson's corner, the message was urgent and simple. You can't wait any longer. The clock was ticking, and the knockout everyone hoped for seemed increasingly unlikely. Tyson tried to rally with another burst of energy, pushing forward at the start of the 6th. But as the round wore on, the difference in age and endurance became painfully clear. Paul continued to jab effectively, using his reach advantage to keep Tyson from closing the distance. By now, it was evident that Tyson needed a miracle, one punch to turn back time and claim victory. But his legs were gone, and Paul knew it. Paul tightened his grip on the fight in the 7th, landing a crisp 1-2 combination that punctuated his dominance. Tyson, though still standing, was clearly fading, retreating more often than attacking. The referee warned Paul about his approach, but it didn't change the trajectory. Tyson's bursts of aggression were becoming shorter and less effective, and the crowd sensed the end was near. The final round unfolded as a standoff. Tyson, visibly exhausted, had nothing left in the tank. Paul, out of respect or caution, didn't press for a knockout, but continued to dominate with his jab, ensuring there was no opening for a last-minute surprise. As the bell rang, Paul bowed to Tyson, acknowledging the legacy of the man he had just defeated. Tyson, in turn, raised his glove, a quiet salute to his younger opponent.
Oh, wow.
Tyson!
Neither fighter took unnecessary risks, but Paul didn't need to. His strategy of using his reach and jab had paid off, leaving Tyson unable to mount a serious offensive. The judges' scores reflected the one-sided nature of the bout: 80, 72, and 79. 73 twice, all in favor of Paul. It wasn't the fairy tale ending fans had hoped for, but it was a testament to Tyson's resilience and legacy. At 58, he stepped into the ring once more, reminding the world of the warrior spirit that made him a legend. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below.